Always fantastic to watch Stefan de Twee talking to us about sports nutrition. And it was great to have him at Newlands. You can actually see us live with the motors going on at the back of in the back of the scene there. Listen, talking about Evox Advanced Nutrition, folks, they've been the official supplier to Western Province Rugby for a very, very, very long time now. And in case you don't know it, so we're going to tell the club players directly, because it seems like for some other reason, Mr. H, I'll point this finger at you, it seems like for some other reason, we struggle to get the administrators who come to your executive meetings to pass on the information to the clubs. You don't need to comment on that one. We'll just leave that one lying there. But if you are a club rugby player, you are officially sponsored by Evox Sports Nutrition. So if you want to be able to speak to the guys directly, please get in touch with them, and I'm sure that they can. In actual fact, you can apply for sponsorship directly with that sports nutrition company. It's on the Western Province Club Rugby website. Of course, we did run a competition for one of you to win 500 Rands worth of sports nutrition products. And our winner this week was Errol Philander. Errol wins himself 500 Rands worth of Evox Advanced Nutrition sports products. And remember, if you want to win yourself that same prize or put yourself in the draw for that, all you need to do is tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers. Just send your answer to 32010. And don't forget to stick your name in there at the same time. Right, as we promised early on, we would take a look at some of the laws. Joining us on the panel now is Joey Salmon, the #1 referee in Western Province Rugby. Hello, Joey.
Hello, JB.
Not Solomon, huh?
It's no, not Salmon either.
And not Salmon either. Listen, nice to have you on board.
Thanks, Brad.
So listen, a couple of interesting questions in the world of refereeing. I mean, it's really getting big business now, and it's very technical, very academic. You guys have to obviously study quite hard for this, huh?
Well, basically, you got to write an exam and pass it. You can put it that way. And if you're going to fail, you're not going to ref. That's basically how it works.
Is it as strict as that?
It's as strict as that. You got to pass the laws to be able to ref a game.
No, so we did say that we would look at a different law every week. Let's go back 2 weeks, and this was a talking point for so many people about the Stormers against the Crusaders game, and this potentially could have been a turnaround point. They talk about turnaround points and losing momentum in the game. Devalt Devanage takes an interception from a short line-out call. And the try, and he scored, and the try was not allowed. I mean, maybe can you just run us through that, and why was the try disallowed?
Well, basically, I know that same incident was referred to the IRB by Sansa, because there was a couple of difference of opinion. What happened was that, if I'm correct, it was Kieran Reid wanted to play quick, wanted to have a quick throw-in. It was all legal. He caught the ball. He was the first one to play it, but there was one problem. He stepped into the field of play. And when you step into the field of play, the assistant referee will keep his flag up to indicate that there was something wrong with the throw-in. He then put the ball in. Devalt read the pass, took it, put it under the sticks. The referee did award it at first, then saw the assistant referee's flag up, rightfully came back, and then queried what happened. Assistant referee said he stepped in the field of play, but you got to play advantage. That's what he said to the referee.
All right. Okay. So it's a question of the advantage should have been played.
Yes.
All right. So when you say step into the field of play, and you know, we're talking about now the ordinary scenario would be when you take a quick throw.
Yeah.
In other words, someone has kicked it out, you take a quick throw. When you say step into the field play, to make that quick throw a legitimate throw, you actually have to have both feet still outside the white line.
That's correct.
Kieran Reid's 1 foot was inside.
Correct.
Which means that he didn't throw it in the correct manner.
Yeah, which makes it an incorrect throw-in, and if you have an incorrect throw-in, you have the option for your position of a scrum or line-out, which means you play advantage.
So it's almost like a knock-on.
Exactly.
Right. Another question that I have for you, though, if his foot, the chalk line, if his foot, a stud, was part of the chalk line, is he in or out of the field?
He's out.
You're out?
Yes.
Okay, so the old story of I saw chalk dust, like in tennis.
That's out.
Patty, it's out.
Definitely.
It's as simple as that.
Definitely.
Okay, all right. Joey, another scenario was over the weekend. Now we saw Giewa Plon, which was again what we would have called a turning point in the match against the Stormers. 2 players running for the ball.
Yes.
Are you allowed to, like in soccer, give the guy a shove out of the way?
Well, the law states that you can run shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
And I think a lot of people misinterpret it because they think shoulder means push, but you can't push the player.
Okay.
You can both run shoulder to shoulder towards the ball.
Almost as if it's equal pressure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, right.
But as soon as you use an arm
Right.
to help yourself with a kind of taking the person off his line of running,
Right.
then we're talking about foul play, playing the play without the ball.
And now in this case, a penalty try was awarded. At which stage would a referee give a penalty try?
If he, in his mind, thinks that a try would have been scored if it wasn't for foul play.
So in other words, if there was no interference
Yeah.
under the normal play of the game,
Yes.
he would have dotted it down.
Correct.
Any interference would have...
Yeah.
Right, okay. Refereeing, definitely big business at the moment. One of the things we spoke about in the last few weeks, and we're hoping to talk about it over the next couple of weeks, and we saw this at the youth rugby at Newlands not so long ago, the launching of the campaign to get more referees.
Yes.
I think it was 3 hurrahs for referees.
Three cheers
Matty,
for that.
I mean, in your day, was it difficult to get referees to ref? I mean, it seemed like it was a lot more dangerous back then.
You know, it was dangerous, yes, but you know what was important then is each club was compelled to have a referee. Today we're not really enforcing it. You know, in other words, you as a club, if you had 4 clubs or 4 teams or 3 teams, you must give 3 referees, and that made referees. I mean, I feel it for referees. I was the referee, and I can feel what they're going through. And there's a great shortage today of referees. And who are the people moaning? The clubs are moaning, and they're not really doing anything to get referees there as well.
I've
And
got
that's a problem.
Herman, I mean, is that the case? Is that not a regulation anymore for clubs that you don't have to supply referees? I mean, I would imagine that if you were a playing club and to keep the playing field even, that you should be able to give referees, touch judges, medics, etc., etc. Everyone should have a limited package available.
We are trying to get something similar back. We say to the clubs, we are having a referees workshop. You need to send somebody there to be qualified. If you don't turn up, your next game, you will have 1 referee short.
Right.
So
exactly.
make sure that you are there.
Okay.
That's the type
Joey,
of
let me go back to you. Jy's ook op die SA Rugby se skeieregterspaneel.
Ja.
Een van die nuwe dinge wat die ouens nou uitgebring het in die laaste jaar of 2, en ek weet ek spring miskien 'n bietjie van 'n surprise vraagie op jou hierso, is die kwessie van die Boxsmart program.
Ja.
Is die skeieregters daarbey betrokke? Is hulle bewus van die program? Hoeveel betrokkenheid is daar?
Ik weet dat op het nationale paneel is al 11 van ons is Boxsmart geaccrediteerd.
Het jy dit self
Ik
gedoen?
heb dit zelf gedaan. Provinciale paneel allemaal is. En zelfs die contenders. So ons top 35, 40 scheidsrechters in die land. Ons was gesê geweest, jy gaan nie blaas as jy nie 'n Boxsmart kaart het met 'n Boxsmart nommer nie.
Patty, from an SA Rugby point of view, the Boxsmart program, it's
Definitely.
good for rugby.
Good for rugby. You can see
Fantastic
the
stuff.
results. It's good.
Right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the results of temperance back in the day. We'll be back in a mo. Patty, it's time for us to look at our history feature. Yes, folks, it is that time again. We looked at perseverance last week. We're hoping to look at collegians next week. And this week it is temperance. Pat Kuhn has been a life member now, Patty?
That's life member and life president as well.
And life president. Yeah, listen. So how old is this club?
We are 116 years old.
116.
116.
Oh, that goes a way back, eh? Folks, I'll show you some old photographs here. This is back in 1974. This is when you won the Commando League.
That's right.
Eh?
In the league.
Did you play in this team?
There I'm sitting with the ball in front there, JP.
Oh, is that you with
That's
right?
right. You can look at the
Yes. I was waiting for the hair. Patty, I mean, in terms of the history of temperance, was this an important bunch of people in the community? And what did it mean when you were such a successful team? I mean, I see the Commando Cup, you won it that year.
That's right. JP, we come back from Rondebosch, Claremont area. You know, now if you look at our colors there, it's exactly the same colors like villages, for example.
Yes, it is very
It's exactly the same, and we also came from the same area. You know, so there's a lot of history to it, obviously.
Must have been a lot scenario in those days that people still don't get. And I think probably many white people don't get it. And I will be the one then to say it, because I think maybe some people are too shy to say it.
Yeah.
But some terrible scenarios here with so much great talent in a team like that, and you're not allowed to be able to compete effectively on the field. Huh?
Unfortunately, there's obviously that time when the laws were those, but you must also bear in mind, we also created that time also a lot of provincial players and Springboks even for that matter. Although it was a Springbok, on our side of it.
Yes.
You know, and our club created quite a few Springboks at the time.
I've spoken to Peter de Villiers, our current Springbok coach, about this many times. As much pride in the one Springbok team as there is in the other Springbok team. Eh?
Definitely.
There's
Definitely.
There's nothing to hold
Definitely.
back from that. But listen, tell us a little bit more about some of these pictures here. This was, of course, at the centenary, and I see our current president of Western Province Rugby, Toby Titus, is here.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Titus, there you can see the man. Also look at his hair at that time as well, Mr. Ben Groepjes.
And your wife played for the Temperance women's side.
That's right. She was in the time.
Amazing stuff. In actual fact, talking about the Temperance female team, there it is, 15 years ago.
That's right.
All right. Was that something new at the time?
We always had, you know, what we did, there wasn't a lot of women rugby at that time, but always when we celebrated an occasion, women always seemed to be part of the whole celebration as well.
Yeah. And quite a lot of junior achievements. I mean, there's your junior team there, and the president at the time.
And those, they are quite some life members even in that team,
Yeah.
juniors, and they came through the ranks all the time.
You know what I find absolutely fantastic is the fact that we've still got these photographs. You know, we really do need a museum of club rugby.
Definitely.
You know, and in fact, the history of black rugby in South Africa. Patty, this picture over here, gentleman on the right, and you played fly-off, right?
That's right, fly-off and fullback.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. This is the one that I'm really interested in, folks. Here I've got Patty, who back in the day, I don't know, how long ago was this photograph?
That's about 20 years ago.
Pat, and at that stage you were already, and folks, you can't really see it on the picture here, but Norton's Auto Services out in Retreat. And for those of you that don't know, our counter, this counter right here, this beautiful counter that we've made that looks like an absolute world-class console, was kindly sprayed by Norton's Auto, Pat.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So you've been not only did you play for the team and you're still a life member of
Yes.
the team, but you also
And still sponsor our team.
You still sponsor the team. You still help out.
I still do. I try and do that annually. Some of my subscriptions I always go and pay back there as well, all the time.
I've got to ask you why. I mean, you just keep giving and giving. Like, when is enough?
It's, you know, it's again all about the love of rugby.
Yeah.
That's bottom line.
Are there other people like that in the community?
It's maybe, how to say that, it's difficult to find, but it's also, like I say, the economics got a lot to do with it. There are people who willingly want to give, but unfortunately the circumstances.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. And folks, yeah, you can see so many more of the photographs that shows us about the history and the legacy of club rugby, and it's one of those things we absolutely have to preserve. I'll give you some of the names here. In the suburban centenary, and Ben Groepjes is in here with
That's
you.
right.
Joe Johnston.
That's right.
Herman, Mr. H.
Look at these here, eh?
Jy's ook hierso. Jy's een wat so moeilik lyk. Lyk dan beneath met almal. And Vic Christians.
That's right.
All people
He's
who
also
played
on the
with you.
board, yeah,
Still on the board of Temperance?
of Western Province.
On the board of Western Province
That's
Rugby.
right.
And I'm sure he's on the board of Temperance as
No,
well.
no, sure.
And here's another little picture here at the Temperance anniversary game 15 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Folks, honestly, we need all of your support in the history feature. Let's try and make sure that we don't forget about the history of club rugby. But it's up to you. It's up to you as the player, the coach, and the administrator. And I know that some of you have been administrators of your club for the last 50 years. It's time for you to start getting up and helping out. We want to preserve the legacy of your club. Put it together, a little package, and bring it onto the show. We'll be back in a moment.